have you guys heard about this? Because I'm genuinely surprised that I didn't know about it sooner. Apparently back in October 2025, Daily Drill sold their company for $65 million to Delta Galil. Delta Galil is a giant manufacturing company. They are deeply embedded in the fashion industry. They manufacture and produce for brands like Nike, Nike Skims, Calvin Klein, Adidas, Tommy Hilfiger, and they also own a few brands directly themselves, now like Daily Drills, as well as 7 for All Mankind, and unfortunately, Organic Basics. Why do I say unfortunately? Well, if you just do a little research behind Delta Galil, you will see that they are included on a UN database regarding companies with operations in illegal Israeli settlements in Palestinian territories. They've also been called out by a few watchdogs for their exploitation of Arab labor. And yeah, if you just look at like different audits of factories that they work with or own, the results just don't look that great. So back to the daily drills of it all. Honestly, the only reason I found out about it was because I was looking on Reddit. And I was like, this is so niche to just be like pulled out of the air. There has to be something to it. Went through a lot of Delta Galil's like investor presentations, and yeah, it's legit. And from what I was reading and seeing in these presentations, it appears that the two founders, or as the CEO of Delta Galil refers to them as influencers, they are going to like stay on with the brand, obviously be the face, keep that customer connection going. But it appears like at the end of the day, Delta Galil owns them. They obviously will be using Delta Galil's like crazy manufacturing network as well as their fabrics. But what I found is interesting is there's also a conditional payout for the two founders. They meet like their profitability targets in the next 3 years. They stand to make an additional $37 million on top of the $65 million that they got. I haven't seen like any statements from Daily Drills. Maybe I missed something, but it looks like they're still doing business as usual, continuing to sell out, which is really interesting considering they're now part of like one of the world's largest manufacturing networks. And I also think it's really interesting that a brand that is really focused on community hasn't disclosed this very important detail to their possible customers or, community. Not that they're like legally required to, it's just like a bit of transparency, please. Oh, and this is all public information. It's all for commentary and informational purposes. I encourage anybody to like research into this themselves and make their own opinion.